Minority Leader, Assemblyman Kilmer Morris.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Presiding Officer. Question number 254 to the Secretary of Health, Wellness and Social Protection, Assemblyman Dr. Faith B.Yisrael.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Presiding Officer. This question relates to the oil that is stored at the Studley Park Landfill. The first question refers to whether the EMA clearance was provided prior to the storage of the oil at the landfill. Deputy Presiding Officer, given the nature of the oil spill being an emergency, this isn't a normal project where clearance is given ahead of a normal project being executed. If the question is whether the EMA has been a part of the process, the EMA was a part of all of the processes that were involved in the operation pertaining to the cleanup, which included the storage at the landfill. There were meetings continually during that time, and the EMA was represented at those meetings, so there is no specific date where a specific clearance is given. B, what specific containment measures were implemented to prevent leakage? The cells are lined with polyurethane, which is a type of plastic material, and there are berms on the outskirts of each cell, and berms are basically, if you notice, the rising of dirt on the outskirts to prevent spillage if probably rain falls or something like that. And have any laboratory tests been conducted to detect potential leaks? So if we're talking about laboratory tests, for example, that go to Kariri and so forth, that has not been done. However, we have been conducting environmental testing, which includes monitoring the nearby streams, south of the landfill, the nearby coastal area, and so forth. The last tests that were done were on the 6th of November 2024 and the 19th of November 2024, and all results were of acceptable levels. Acceptable levels. Thank you.
First follow-up is whether the Secretary is discounting the input of the experts who suggest that there is in fact leakage, and it is in fact deleterious to the well-being of Tobagoans, including posing serious threat to the Hillsborough Dam.
Mr. Deputy Presiding Officer, so I am glad that this question was raised, and I am trying to figure out if the minority leader knows where the Hillsborough Dam is compared to where the landfill is. And I am wondering by what mechanism could that movement happen. But if there is a specific report that speaks to this leakage, I have not seen such a report. And if the minority leader has a copy of such a report from the experts, I would be very willing to look at it, and we will treat with that report. Mr. Deputy Presiding Officer.
Would the Secretary not agree such an important matter as this, that puts the life of the average Tobagonian at risk, that you, a responsible Secretary, would ensure that they get the necessary testing from a reputable organization such as Kariri?
Mr. Deputy Presiding Officer, the department with responsibility for environment continues to do water safety testing throughout the island. This is not the first time that they're doing it. So this is just a continuation of what they have been doing. Of course, paying particular attention to that area because we know that the oil is stored there. But, Mr. Deputy Presiding Officer, the process for treating with that oil, as we discussed in a press conference a couple of weeks ago, the decisions that are being made as it relates to that are decisions not just being made by the Tobago House of Assembly. This includes working very closely with the Ministry of Energy and so forth. It includes having an external contractor be identified to treat with the waste oil and so forth. So I do not know that unless the member is indicating that the professionals that, for example, are in the Ministry of Energy and the professionals who are in the Department of Environment and the professionals who are part of TEMA and the professionals who work at the landfill are not reputable. I am not sure that I can agree with that statement at all, Mr. Deputy Presiding Officer.
With reference to the process of engagement of EMA, is the Secretary aware that it is unlawful to undertake such a process without the necessary certified clearance?
Mr. Deputy Presiding Officer, allow me to read from a memo that speaks to the pits pertaining to the pits that were dug at Studley Park Landfill as relates to the oil. It includes information about the pits and so forth, but it also includes a time log, which speaks to the fact that on, for example, the 23rd of February 2024, the representative from EMA was the one who presented the information about the pits being dug and about the measures that have been put in place pertaining to the pits being dug. Are you saying that the representative from the EMA who has been part of these proceedings is not being lawful? Is that what you're saying, Madam, Mr. Minority Leader?
I'm not the one answering the questions. The point is, the law is the law. And is the Secretary aware that she's breaking the law?
Are you finished?
The question is...
I am not aware that any law is being broken. Unless the EMA is the one breaking the law, I am not aware that any law is being broken at this time.